Have you ever thought that the secret to protecting your eyesight might actually start on your bathroom scale? Kind of weird, right? Well, today we're going to dive into this really surprising and powerful link between your weight, your heart, and, you guessed it, the health of your eyes.
So seriously, what could your heart and your eyes possibly have in common? I mean, they seem like they're in totally different worlds, right? But the answer reveals this amazing truth about how our bodies really work as one big single interconnected system.
And that brings us right to the heart of it all, the surprising heart-eye connection. Let's peel back the layers and figure out what ties these two super important organs so closely together. Okay, so the big reveal is actually super simple. They share the exact same network of blood vessels. Think about it. That whole complex highway system of veins and arteries that feeds your heart, it's the very same one that delivers all that crucial oxygen and those nutrients to your retina. That super delicate light-sensitive part at the back of your eye that lets you see clearly? So, this leads us to a really simple but honestly profound rule of thumb. What's good for your heart is good for your eyes. It's a two-for-one deal. When your heart health is struggling, those tiny, super delicate vessels in your eyes are in trouble too. And that can lead to some serious vision problems later on, like age-related macular degeneration, or AMD, which is a major cause of vision loss. Okay, so if the blood vessels are the highway, what's causing all the traffic jams? Well, this is where your weight comes into the picture. Let's really dig into why managing it is so important for the health of this whole system. It's really like a domino effect. Carrying extra weight isn't just one thing. It kicks off this whole chain reaction. First, it can lead to high blood pressure, and that physically damages those tiny vessels in your retina. Then, you've got high cholesterol, which creates blockages, like little roadblocks that stop oxygen from getting to your heart and your eyes. And the big one? It's a huge risk factor for type 2 diabetes, and that condition is just notorious for how badly it can affect your vision.
All right, so understanding the risks is one thing, but how do you even know where you stand? How do you measure it? That's what we're jumping into next. It's time to get practical and talk about your health numbers. Think of them as the key checkpoints for your health.
A really good place to start is something called the Body Mass Index, or BMI. Just think of it as a quick screening tool. It's a simple little calculation using your height and weight that just gives you a general ballpark idea of where you're at. Now, it's not the whole story for sure, but it's a fantastic conversation starter for your next trip to the doctor. So what's the magic number? Well, for most adults, a healthy BMI is generally considered to be below 25. And look, this isn't some super strict, written in stone rule, but it's a really helpful benchmark to keep in mind as you think about your own health goals. All right, the other big piece of this puzzle is calories. It's so easy to get bogged down in the details here, but really, at its core, a calorie is just a unit of energy. That's it. Your body is kind of like an engine, right? If you put more fuel in than you burn off by moving around, the extra just gets stored. So the whole goal is to find that perfect balance, that sweet spot, between the energy you take in and the energy you use up. Okay, now for what's probably the most important part. What can you actually do about all this? And let me be clear, this is not about some massive overnight life overhaul. Nope, it's all about simple, doable steps you can take towards feeling better. And the foundation for all of this? It's what's on your plate. So let's kick things off with the first big idea, eating smart. I've got a few super practical tips that can make a huge difference. It's really the small, everyday choices that add up to the biggest impact. For example, just adding more fiber from things like veggies and beans helps you feel full longer. Kicking off your day with some protein, that can seriously cut down on cravings later. And simple swaps like grabbing water instead of a sugary drink, or just taking a second to look at nutrition labels, those little things compound over time to help protect your heart and your eyes. All right, pillar number 2, and this one is just as important. Get active. And this is all about just moving your body in ways that you actually enjoy to get that blood flowing and help melt away stress. So what's the goal here? The magic number is about 150 minutes of moderate activity a week. I know that sounds like a lot, but it breaks down to just over 20 minutes a day. And hey, this does not mean you have to be some gym warrior. It could be a brisk walk, a fun bike ride, or even just getting out in the garden. The most important thing, truly, is to find something you like to do and just stick with it. Of course, knowing what to do and actually doing it are two different things, right? So how do you make these new habits stick? The trick is to be smart about it. First, start small. Don't try to change everything at once. Second, make it social
everything is way easier with a friend. Remember, consistency is way more important than intensity. And hey, most importantly, you're not in this alone. Don't be afraid to ask for help from a doctor or a dietitian. Okay, as we start to wrap this up, let's bring it all back to that one core idea we started with. Your body isn't just a bunch of separate parts working on their own. It's one single interconnected system. And this is really the bottom line. Every single step you take to manage your weight is a direct investment in the strength of your heart. And a strong, healthy heart, well, that's the pump that makes sure those super delicate vessels in your eyes get that steady supply of oxygen and nutrients they need to keep your vision sharp for years and years to come. When you really boil it all down, it comes to this one simple, powerful idea. Healthy weight, healthy heart, healthy vision. See? They aren't three separate things to worry about. They're all part of the same goal. So, I'll leave you with this one last thought. Don't think about completely changing your life tomorrow. That's too much. Just ask yourself this. After everything we've talked about, what is one small, totally doable change you can make starting today?